Ohayou gozaimasu. Welcome to Ohayou Anime. We're the anime show titled A Morning Show that doesn't take place in the morning. My name is John, and we're going to be talking about Demon Slayer today. As usual, as this season continues to trek onward, I am joined today by Mike. How's it going?
What's up? It's going
been,
well. How are you?
Good. I missed we missed 1 week here,
Yep.
and already I can't run StreamYards, so it's that's good.
I did watch it back. I watched back the episode that I missed. Nice shout out to the Honda. I'm glad you got a chance to show that off there at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I had to hear JP's rants, It's good stuff.
How was so how was your car event and what happened there? And
it went pretty well. It was the first time that I had been to that track in Gingerman. So, it's a little bit of learning, and it was the first event for me of the season. So we were knocking some rust off as well. So there's a whole lot of new stuff, new modifications done to the car over the winter that, weren't familiar or comfortable with yet. And ended up getting top 10 finish out of 40 or so. As far as, the class goes for the event. So it was pretty cool. It was a really enjoyable time.
Nice. So you shared a bit ago. I don't remember if we brought up on here if we knew it or not yet, but we're getting Initial D sequel coming up.
Yeah, I have been trying not to read too many reviews because I guess it's called MF Ghost. The manga has been out since 2017. And in January, Crunchyroll had, posted that the manga was getting its adaptation. And I just recently seen that as I've been searching for new things. So I still don't know when the actual release date is going to be on it. But apparently the manga has gotten some mixed reviews from Initial D fans. Anyways, I guess some people don't think it's quite as good. I'm going to hold my comments and feedback until I get a chance to watch it. Yeah.
I wonder how, if there is some criticism, how faithful the adaptation will be.
Well, it was just that's a good point, actually. I see what you're saying. Yeah. If if they want to try and make adjustments on the fly for the anime, make improvements on what people felt, I wonder if they've got enough data to identify where they missed.
I certainly feel like that's less common now, especially if the manga is already done, but I don't know. I could see it being a possibility, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or enough people like it anyways that they're going to go forward with this. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I think, reading the synopsis, I'm really, really interested. So it's a kid, 19-year-old kid who is Japanese British, and he has been racing in like an amateur series, so legal racing. Initial D was all about like the Touge out in the Japanese mountains, technically not legal, right? And he was trained by the Initial D protagonist. So there's something along those lines. Something brings him back to Japan, and long story short, he gets caught up in, street racing again.
Yeah.
The same kind of setting, but they make a really recurring point to call out the fact that in the setting of this manga, internal combustion engines have been all but replaced by electric cars, and so this is like the crew that he ends up joining in with, or in the events that you're doing, are all internal combustion engine only thing. So that's got some real world implications to it.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we got Phil joining us now here, so we'll get him back in. Phil, how's it going? Oh, we can see you.
Hello. Having some technical difficulties. I can't hear you guys.
Oh,
we hear you.
We'll give you a second, and let's see. I think this won't kick you completely. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, we'll let him test that a little bit and see what's happening there. So one more thing, like you'd shared with me earlier in the week, an article. I probably should have pulled it up here so we could look at it or something, but just about the kind of cross mixing of car versus like otaku culture slash video games and that sort of thing. Um, what do you think of that? Do you think any more or look any deeper into that or?
I think it's got a couple of things. Like this kind of harkens back to my comments when I first started asking, what other automotive anime is there? Because there's always such an overlap between those. So it's funny to see an article in Grassroots Motorsports about that same thing. In Japan specifically, I mean, the automotive culture is something that seems almost just as deeply seated as their interest in anime. um, and why those two things particularly overlap, I think that there is a cross where cars are art to a lot of people. um, in fact, there's somebody that is very famous. His name is Nakai-san. He started a company called Raw Welt Belgriff, RWB Porsches. He modifies classic Porsches to be what you would expect. They're Japanese. They're real, extravagant, but beautifully done. Everybody refers to him as an artist, right? So in the US, that's not as much the case. In Japan, cars are an expression of self. Um, they're artists in their sense. Manga and anime seems to be a form of expression, right? The things that you're interested in, that you're willing to try, that you're looking into. And it's an art form as well. And so you take the art from the anime or from the manga, you throw it on the side of your car. There's just that overlap. And then I think that's just um, the people that are car people today from our generation probably grew up playing Gran Turismo, Forza Motorsport, something along those lines. So it's probably seeded in video games there as well, because the culture itself is dwindling pretty significantly. The number of people that are car people as things become electrified, and that is not a causation, that just seems to be a correlation. There's still things to do with electric vehicles from a passion standpoint, but there's not as much of an interest in our age. And so video games are really where you see that that kind of interest be nurtured.
Still live.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You don't have to have a friend or a father that is interested in cars. Gran Turismo unlocked it for a lot of people. Forza unlocked it for the others. Need for Speed, right? That's a big one, and that's an entryway. In fact, that was the CEO of Turn 10, something Greenwald. That was his whole philosophy, is that Forza Motorsport should be the gateway into car culture for our generation. Sure. So I think that's where the overlap comes.
See if get Phil back in here. Can you hear us now? Oh, we can't hear you now. Oh wait, you're muted. Okay, unmuted.
What if we pretend like we can
better?
hear you?
Yep, can hear you.
No.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. So weird. Okay. I'm gonna jump off and try to get back on. My bad.
Okay.
My bad.
Sounds good. So the sticking in this for a minute, I feel like, again, this related, all these kind of nerd communities and stuff. I never really thought of cars as a nerd community, but speaking of like Japan, and then with their car culture, like I always found something interesting is like Westerners, there's this push from sort of the media and pop culture that Japan is the future, that Japan is this so advanced, like, oh, you go to Tokyo and they're way ahead. I remember growing up in school, they were just way ahead on everything.
Yeah.
And I think, that shows again the power of Hollywood and sort of fears in like Japan's giant like tech boom era where they were just going to like take over. And it comes through in their interest in the future, their interest in robots and in technology, and that they make so much technology. But, so a lot of it comes from there, but it's not part of everyday life. And what's interesting
really?
to me is how these advanced technologies and research and stuff like that comes from Japan, yet they're also the ones to hold on to old things much longer.
Yeah,
Let's try
tradition.
once more to get Phil in here. Phil, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, all right.
Any
So,
luck?
Yeah,
No?
we hear you great.
I'm gonna try a different. I'm gonna try a different speaker situation.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Phil's gonna throw his computer out here in a second.
Yeah. So for instance, when now I've been to Japan in let's see, 6 years now, but it's not too long ago. Um, you would see a lot of computer stores, and the computer stores would have a lot of very old computers. There's tons of media stores that are like you. It was still common to go and you'd be like able to rent CDs or DVDs. So instead of just like assuming everybody streams everything, you go in and you can rent this physical media yet.
That's cool.
There's cameras, notoriously cameras are not only like the predominant brands that make cameras, yet here, point and shoot cameras and DSLR cameras for a long time is like, well, they're dead. You to look at the section at Best Buy used to be, that was a big market, was cameras for everybody, holiday season, gift camera. And then now everybody just uses their phone. So, but cameras still thrive in Japan. So there's a lot of these things, they were the ones that held on to flip phones for longer and made flip phones kind of smarter phones and that sort of thing. So they just hold on to these things from the past a lot longer than other places while new technology develops and some of that. So
that is an interesting dichotomy. I mean, well, I guess maybe it's not a dichotomy, but yeah, you've got the desire for tradition. I mean, yeah, when I think of Japan, right, I think of Neon Tokyo and vending machines for everything. Everything is a vending machine. I don't even know if that's true, but dude, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, like that's got to be legit, right?
real.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
I don't.
Gundam
I don't.
Wing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I grew up thinking that same thing, and I've always wanted to go there. But yeah, all the way into their culture. I mean, even just their social norms are tied to tradition, right? I mean, yeah, that's interesting.
Phil, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay. All right. Whatever your mic was made a lot of noise for a moment there. That was
my apologies.
Not good there, but
I don't. I don't exactly know what's going on. I'm just using the laptop, microphone, and speakers. So hopefully it's okay.
Sound great.
Yeah, it's working out.
We're just gonna roll with that then. Yeah, it was hard because I couldn't hear you guys. So I was like, I don't know if you can hear me. I think you can.
Yeah, you gotta read lips, Yeah.
No, it's water under the bridge. So my apologies. So
we were just catching up a little bit. Phil, I know you've been well, let's save your Attack on Titan reaction for when JP's back.
For sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about that next time.
That's fine. Because I'm right at a spot where I'm like, things are getting weird. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. And I got to probably get another 3 or 4 episodes in before I can make sense of this. So.
Okay. But you did finish another show that maybe you want to kind of cue us in on.
Yeah. So I finished Neon Genesis Evangelion. It was actually really excellent. It was like one of those, have you ever guys had an experience where someone's telling you about a movie, like a classic movie, and they're like, this movie's amazing, like everyone needs to see it. But once is plenty. Like one time is probably good. You don't really want to watch it more than once. Once is good. Just because it's really intense. It's really like, so like a lot of like very traumatic, like more so than most anime. I feel like it's very real. I was telling John this a little bit offline. I was saying there were several times where I forgot I was watching like an animated show. Just feels very real. Have you, Mike? Have you seen it or
I have not seen
you're
it.
not? Okay, and John, you've seen some of it. You said, but
Mm, yeah.
just the interactions between like characters and the stakes are super high and it feels really emotional. Like the people in the show are really experiencing the the intensity of the moment because this is like a very it's like sort of like dire stakes for the whole earth and it's also very like psychologically confusing and just really delves deep into the psyche of these characters who are going through kind of a end of the world situation. And it was just like done in like the night or mid 90s, so it was kind of like this really dark storyline, but the animation was really like vibrant and the colors really bright, so just played really well from that standpoint.
That's
A
interesting.
lot of a lot of really cool artistic decisions, like really cool shots. Yeah, just it's really like a more of a. I mean, there's some awesome like mech battles and stuff, and but it's really more of like I feel like a character study of like the psychology of these core like 6 characters probably. It's like heavy though, super heavy. There was a couple times where I was like, I got to turn this off for a bit and just take a little break ski.
Wow.
So
I mean, mech things, giant robots, all that, big part of like what you think of when you think of Japanese culture, nerd culture, that sort of thing. And I feel like every once in a while there's something that comes along that's trying to revitalize or reinterpret that kind of genre. And the way I always thought of it was, Gundam was around since 1979 and, left a giant mark on, stamp of what that is in Japan. And so something like, so that's a lot of years for that to sort of be the hallmark and the plethora of series that, came from it. And so when you get something like Neon Genesis Evangelion coming along, sort of like, let's look at this in a different way. Yeah, I think it landed with people, and it was done impressively. We see that it's like the series, and it gets like kind of retouched, and it gets made into movies, and the kind of the whole thing. I was watching I watch these videos of people just walk around Japan on YouTube, as like a background thing or whatever, practice reading signs and stuff. And just today I saw, picture of like 3 main characters from Evangelion just like plastered on a wall,
Oh, funny.
So it's
That's
a
cool.
thing that still like holds relevance and is still talked about and is it's definitely considered one of the highlights or classics of the anime.
When did that come out?
96, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, like, to me, and maybe someone else would completely disagree, I feel like the next stab at this was with Gurren Lagann. To me, it's like that was the next sort of really different take on the idea of a mech sort of anime.
Yeah, that was one of the probably early on in my anime watching career, so it's a couple years ago, and you and Andrea had recommended that to me, John, and I really liked that a lot. That one I feel like is a little bit there's still a lot of like emotional drama and it's very like cerebral in a lot of the same ways with like where they go with it, but that one is a little wackier and zanier and like more action packed. I feel.
I was gonna say, like, I would slap myself if I had recommended that to you at that stage of your anime career, because I did I do like that show a lot, but it's like not beginner anime. I think anything.
Watch the Horse Girls.
I haven't watched that. No.
I think that there is, everybody can go along their own path or whatever. Sure. But, if you're trying to get someone into anime, everybody has their opinions. I think that there is stuff that is more palatable and stuff that requires it is an acquired taste.
Sure.
It's sort of like a lot of people with coffee. You can't just drink black coffee straight
Right.
away.
It'll
You
work
got to
your way
give
through it.
them some sort of like
Yep.
mocha latte ice cream kind of thing,
Love a
and you
latte.
slowly make your way to
Mhm.
coffee.
Yeah.
Give them that
And
black
any
coffee, and if they don't like it, then be like, you know what, you weren't cut out for this.
Fun fact: I do drink black coffee, but
Me
I did
too.
work my way up there.
There you go. See, it's an analogy I always use. I think
It's a
it
good one.
holds true.
Maybe
'Cause,
Andrea recommended it to me. Maybe it
yeah,
wasn't.
maybe. I have to,
Maybe it wasn't.
tell her, well, I don't know what you're doing. Good thing it worked
It
out.
worked out. It worked out. It
Yeah.
didn't scare me off.
So on that concept of trying something new with mechs,
Mhm.
right? How much would you consider Attack on Titan a twist on the mech concept? They're like flesh mechs, right? Or does that?
I mean,
just
I don't know a
feel-
lot yet, so don't be telling me stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you're not. Oh
I've
shit!
done like 7. I've done like through like 7 episodes.
Period. Damn it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well,
I don't think you gave too much away. Yeah, like
No.
I obviously have weird
It's-
stuff going on. So
Well, let's just stop talking about it. Damn, that would have been fun.
I think without saying anything else, that is something that's maybe worth a discussion. Framing it that I've always understood that the idea of mechs were this ability to counter a nuclear power.
Mhm.
So like if you get 2 bombs dropped on you, and he's like, this is the thing that puts you in the hole. You can't, what do you do against that kind of might? And so it's sort of a, hey, how can we, and there you have a mech. It's a new weapon, a new type of technology that puts you on another level playing field and sort of thing. So it's an expression of a desire for realignment of power or something like that. That's
like,
my interpretation of
like
it.
against any extinction level
Yeah.
threat, basically.
It's just like Godzilla. Godzilla is a nuclear weapon.
Right. Well, that is the what allegory or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the mech is a look towards the future, an advancement of technology, and a hope for but the lesson is always it never solves anything. Everybody's at war. It's always
right.
Whatever. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's certainly
how
a
million ways now.
Used and framed up in Neon Genesis Evangelion is like this from this like visiting. I mean, so 96. I don't know. We're too worried about spoiling it, but there's like visiting
like aliens
beings,
or
and
angels.
they like have to fight these beings, the angels. Yeah, got to fight them with something.
When you get farther on Attack on Titan, I want to come back to that conversation because it's also a fairly similar 20-year time period between them. You're talking 79 for Gundam. I mean, of course, that's where it gets the start. And this one was 96. You're not quite at a 20-year time period. And then when did Attack on Titan was what, 2013? 20?
Yeah, something like that. We talked
about. Yep. So, 15, 16, you're right in that ballpark again. Just
you're interesting. You're in Logons in between there somewhere. I think it's the early 2000s, maybe.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, those are the.
It's Yep.
It's a fun genre.
We'll have to remember to come back to that. Do a further Attack on Titan discussion at some point. I've been watching Hell's Paradise. I finally caught up on it. It's still following the manga. I still love it. It's going great. We had a couple good episodes this week and the weekend past. So, yep, excited about that. And let's talk about Demon Slayer. So, all right, I am recording this little bit here that I'm going to place up top just to let everybody know. In the middle of our Demon Slayer discussion, there is what I would consider a minor spoiler that is mentioned, like is brought forth in the manga as it relates to our Mist Hashira Tokido's markings on his face and kind of face markings in general. So if you want no spoilers at all. That from what's not in the anime. This is your warning for that when we mention the when I ask about the markings on the Mist Hashira Tokida's face and what we maybe think that means. So that's all. Hope you enjoy. Let's see. Let's get an image in here. Oh, that's not right. There we go. All right, so we've covering 2 episodes here. We really are focusing on our Mist Hashira, Mike's favorite character. Now, I did say, maybe there's something more to the Mist Hashira. He's not going to be so boring. I don't know. Did we? Did that happen, or are we discontent? Like, Mike, let's start with you on this.
Well, yeah, we always start with the negative, right? So I'll say this. So many of this show's problems are alleviated when you watch 2 episodes back to back.
100%.
Chef's kiss on these 2 combined. God damn it.
Nice.
Just give me 40 minutes of this shit at one sitting. Have I changed my mind on this guy? I would have been more inclined to change my mind if the young, weaker one hadn't just assumed his older brother's personality when he lost his memories for an inexplicable reason. I thought what they were doing was a cool twist because of the color of the clothing, right? What I thought was going to be happening in this episode as I was watching it was that he was telling the perspective of the story from the younger good brother, right? The nice, the kind brother. And I thought that as they laid dying next to each other, we were going to learn that his memory had been obscured and it was actually the younger soft brother that was killed trying to save the hardened one. And that it was the hardened one with his pain and his sad perspective on the world that was the one that survived. And that's why he has this persona, right? I'm bummed that it was just, oh man, I lost my memories, so I thought I'd take on my brother's persona. Like, what the shit? Why? That's ridiculous. That is silly.
Well, but is it so much that it's not like I decided I would, it's be more
Right.
like I have a basic understanding of where I went, what happened to me because of, maybe what was told to me, it was surrounding me and stuff like that, the condition of them finding me. And so I become like a blank slate, like you've had trauma in your past you're aware of, and it's not like he's necessarily a dick like his brother lashing out in anger. It's that he just is lacking of a personality because he has not had the time that he's developed one.
They specifically said in the episode that he adopted his brother's hardened persona. He specifically said that. It wasn't that he just went blank slate. It was that when he lost his memory, so scratch that. He did become blank slate. You're right. But when he lost his memories, there was something about like his brother's strength and stoicism that he adopted. Like,
sure,
they called that out. I mean, I can see just, you're 10 years old and you have no personality. I mean, they already have a character that's Inosuke, right? That's a 10-year-old person that has, or 12 or whatever, that has no social construct for humanity and lived with boars and stuff.
Sure.
That's not what this.
But he has a big personality still. He is socially inept and lacking in development in ways, but he is a big personality.
That's true. But I don't know. And I see why they're doing it. His character growth or development, it's not growth or development. It's just him regaining memories. That's not character growth. That's just getting back to where he started, and only now he's got some muscles.
Yeah, but he's also had some interactions with Tanjiro and others that have affected him some. Looks like all of that in combination.
Only because they reminded him of what his father said, so that lesson had already been taught to him. He had just forgotten it. So, he's not growing. He's just getting back to where he was.
But where he was like not necessarily able to fend for himself, as his brother yelled at him, he can't even cook rice. Like, what do he was helpless. So it's clearly not helpless now. He's like he has learned, he still has his memories of since then. So the way he's been, the way he's acted now with the addition of his former self, he's got to be a very different person of that combination, as opposed to just reverting back to pre Demon Slayer core member.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I think it's a fairly bland and cheap way to do it. Just like I've thought this character was bland and cheap to begin with, because again, so he had the underpinnings of the soft side. He didn't have the strength at that time. Then he developed the strength. I mean, he had the willpower, because you can see in one of the scenes when his brother, they're lifting the logs, right? Which those are massive logs for a 9-year-old. But his brother's doing it easily.
3.
Yeah, right? He's not doing it easily. He drops it, but he doesn't give up. He doesn't quit. He doesn't sulk. He picks the son of a bitch back up. He just struggles with it more. So he already had the determination to become great. It needed a little push, right? And so those underpinnings were already there. Now he's got the strength side of it. It's just not unique. I don't know.
It needed his brother to not be in his way. I thought that was an interesting admittal, as like, hey, you are special. You are, like, in their words, a chosen one or whatever. You have the talent, but due to my like pent up, frustrations of loss and feeling of betrayal from my parents, I'm not going to let you fly, essentially. I know deep down somewhere, like, you could be more, we could be more, but I sort of am scared to do that. And out of hate, I'm not gonna, do that. It's kind of like someone that, is, maybe they have someone in their life and they themselves are no longer in shape, and so they kind of discourage someone else from getting in shape, when maybe just a little bit of push or motivation would get them to like hit the gym and like really turn things around. It's like I've just had his brother doing that to him, holding him back in that sense. So
okay. I'm not gonna argue with that. That's a cool aspect to it.
I was just gonna say, I mean, I do think Tokido's character he's not like that exciting per se either. I mean, I think he'll continue to. I hope he'll continue to grow, and they'll continue to flesh out his character. And is like, he's incorporating his old memories, and with like the experience and the life he's lived, like he still remembers his time from when he got taken in by the Demon Slayer Corps to now, and then he's incorporating all these old memories, and it feels to me like a character they're going to continue to flesh out over time, and I think we'll see more growth, because he is still like very kind of bland in his responses and stuff, and he doesn't get mad, or he doesn't really emote very much. The only time you see any frames of him like emoting is when he kills that demon.
When he smiles.
Yeah,
but
no, sorry, not when he kills Gyoko in the next episode, when he kills the demon that killed his brother. There's like a couple frames of him like just going like Super Saiyan, and it looks cool, but that's like not how he presents when he's fighting in present day. He's like super like flat, like he is like when he talks. So I hope he gets some more of that back as he kind of keeps remembering all this stuff and like processing through his old trauma.
We had the signs of that, with the smiling, with the like trying to get under his skin, the joking in the sense, in that kind of way. I think that's his memories coming back has really unlocked a different side of him. It's unlocked his abilities. It's like reminded of him of the rage and why he had it. So I think that I think that we're going to see a very different Tokido going
Yeah.
forward.
Maybe he's incorporating now both sides. Were you guys already saying this? Sorry if you already said this. Oh yeah. So
Well, I mean, go ahead though. I mean, we
yeah,
have
I just mean
faith.
like he's like remembering how his brother was and how hard it was, and he's remembering how at the very end his brother was like, "No, you know, I don't remember exactly what he said, but
He
like,
said Mui means
oh right,
invincible or
infinity or
something.
something.
Yeah.
So he like supports him at the end.
Mhm.
It's like, why couldn't you have said that when you were not dying? Like that's with people are always wait till their deathbed to like tell people how they really feel. But
That's when things come into perspective.
I
A
guess
lot of people can't see what's important, or the forest, the trees of the forest, whatever.
Sure.
Until it's too late.
Right.
So seeing that so much in life, where just like you got an opportunity to turn things around or do something different, and not until you no longer can do you see that's what should happen.
Yeah. No. Excellent point. Excellent point. So I
Maybe
wonder if he's like, I'm one of, and there's like this, this twin energy that people talk about, right? That are twins. And so maybe he's like, I'm a twin. My twin brother's dead. But I'm going to like carry our twinness within me. Like I'm going to carry you with me, brother, even though they have their differences. And then he's going to like have some of his personality, some of his twin's personality. So he's going to be a little harder and edgier maybe and more confident than he was, but
he's
not
certainly
really
OP right from the start. So if he's getting power ups, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of a bitch do you have to be to lose to an 8-year-old kid as a, fledged demon, and you just get wrecked? I don't care what excuse. That guy had to get made fun of incessantly.
That's why I think this demon is more concerned about his art than he was about being like super powerful, and like he always talked about how he looks and the things he makes and how he's talked to more than just like focusing on like finishing this guy off. Or even the other guys. He could have killed those swordsmiths.
This guy has the classic Dragon Ball Z problem as a villain, in that you're right. He holds back. He's Frieza holding on to different forms for utterly no reason, and having it bite him in the ass. Yeah.
Yep.
Only this time his forms were irrelevant.
Yeah, well, I think that was, it would definitely be Frieza's situation if we had. I felt like we got to final form faster. Frieza's always like, we're gonna spend episodes on this form, and then hey, I have another one, and then more episodes, and then hey, it's sort of like they size each other up much faster and understood because that was going to be the death of Tokido right away too. Is I am so gifted. I am, a child prodigy. I haven't dealt with a demon that's, like a real big problem maybe. And so of course I'm going to take you down. And he lets his guard down, and he's about to die. And so when he realizes I can't take chances, he doesn't. And it doesn't take long for our top tier demon here to realize the same as well. Where he's like, used to playing with people. He's playing with his victims. I want to make this guy, look around, stop honing the blade. I get that. Like, what's the power going to do to you when you feel like there's no threat ever, and then all of a sudden you're just, you're up shit creek.
Yeah.
So
overconfident.
What did this fight reveal more about? Does this fight reveal more about the real strength of the upper rank 3 demon, Akaze, or whatever his name is, the one that we saw in the Mugen Train? Does it reveal that demon is just on that much higher of a power level? I know we're talking about 5th rank compared to 3rd rank, but is it that much of a gap, or is this guy, the Mist Hashira, just that much more powerful than Rengoku, that he can make utter frickin' mincemeat out of an upper rank 5 demon solo?
Good question.
Yeah, I think I don't think Tokido's that much stronger than like Rengoku was.
Okay.
I think I think the overconfidence, the playing with his food, the not like taking Tokido seriously, being distracted. I think he could have probably beat Tokido. He let him like find the will to beat him, and he let like Tokido get in the zone. Like Tokido talked about, I just feel like I'm in the zone essentially.
Mhm.
I just think he made some missteps, but power wise, probably ordinarily could take down a Hashira as well.
Okay.
I think he was just
What do you think, Mike?
stupid.
I think this dude is that much stronger than Rengoku.
So okay.
Yeah, I think
I,
this.
yeah.
I think this guy is gonna. I mean, he's the first one that we've seen take down an upper rank without any real consequences.
Yeah,
Short of seeing what happens to him now that the poison has taken effect since the demon slayer mark is gone.
sure.
But I think they're setting this dude up to be crazy strong.
Okay. I mean, I'd be cool with that
Interesting.
because I really think going back to fight the upper 4.
Mhm.
I know that Mitsuri, who so happy to have back. I know that she's like, it's okay, Tanjiro, take a break. I got it from here. I know that we're all like, oh, she's here. She's going to save the day. I think they're going to have trouble with that guy, though, still.
Mhm.
I mean, it's going to have to be probably Tokido coming back to help. Like, when you consider it took Lord Tengen and then all 3 of the, Tanjiro and his buds to beat upper 6.
Mhm.
I mean, they're not going to kill both these demons that easily. There's going to have to be some, like, just 11th hour pull it out of your butt business, to win the day, I'm sure. I would think, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if this guy recovers from his poison and comes back to help on this 4th rank, then that just will confirm my feelings even more that he's just stupid OP.
I don't think that'll happen. I don't think
No.
that's going to
Oh, no?
happen. I think they're saying he's out for the count. Foaming from the
Oh, okay.
mouth. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's out.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
thought
you
the
probably
fight
agree.
was really cool. Don't
Mhm.
get me wrong. The fight was really cool. I'm just thinking about the, what it
Power
means.
dynamics.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think for me it was a very pleasant surprise that he was able to take out this demon himself, because I didn't want it to be where every time, it's like the Demon Slayer Corps has assembled their best.
Yeah.
And the Ultimate Demon has assembled their best.
Mhm.
Like, is it default that every time it needs to be assumed that the demon is outmatching the Demon Slayer all the
Sure.
time?
Mhm.
Like, I'm really happy if we have someone here. It does say like, well, what's the power differential here? Is Tokido that much more powerful than Rengoku?
Mhm.
I don't know, or is the demon that they were facing really should be higher rank? Because we talk about funny business there with the ranks of these demons,
Yep.
kind of a little more based on, maybe devotion, commitment, lack of weaknesses, that sort of thing,
Yep.
So yeah, I like this. I think it says that that he's incredibly powerful, and that had he not recovered his memories, he would have lost. I don't think it was
Yep.
a toying around thing. I think that it was, to me, is like in his previous state with the sword that he had, he was not going to defeat this demon. But when his like motivation was returned, he was able to breathe properly. They would talk about that. It's like he's training until he bleeds, and he's like doesn't have the breath, like he can barely breathe to do his techniques or whatever.
Right.
When all that came back, it's like, no, there's real potential was shown there now. So yeah, that's
he
Well, sorry, go ahead.
definitely. I was just gonna say he definitely grew in power.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Do we think anything of the markings on his face now and stuff?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just more of a connection with Tanjiro, right?
What markings?
Like the
Well, because
birthmark area.
Well, that went away. That was his Demon Slayer mark. So like these Hashira, right? They have the ability to unleash their Demon Slayer mark, but it takes a large toll on their lifespan. So it comes and goes, right? So every time they unlock that power, they do it at the cost of their lifespan. And that is supposedly why there are not old Demon Slayers.
Oh.
Did you read this somewhere, Mike? Did you look this up? I don't remember this being in the show.
Me neither.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god. Spoilers.
Mike's just like reading the manga.
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't think that spoils anything.
No, I didn't realize that.
Well, I see people like suggesting there's a connection or something because of the mark, you know.
I've never seen any of the other Hashiras use their mark thing or have a mark on their face or anything.
So here's the thing. They early on, Tanjiro's grew.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanjiro's grew when he had his first demon encounter. Right. So he has like the ability to utilize that, you know, beyond his years or his training, essentially. But this is not the first time that we've seen it, you know, work that way. It's just the first time that we've seen it come and go.
I'm gonna have to put a thing way at the beginning of it, like right at the beginning, like warning, some spoilers.
That is not a spoiler.
Well.
Get out of here.
Oh my god.
Nah, it's probably fine, but
that's not a spoiler.
But I will say, I'm going to say though, going along with maybe, you know, this guy's just that OP and he's just killing upper 6 ranked demons by himself. If Mitsuri can take care of that other demon by herself, then she also is on that same level and like super OP, which she does it. But
and I mean, it sure looks like she is. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Would it be too much if you know, she comes in here and just wipes him out now as well? Would that be too
do with the rest of the season?
Convenient?
Well, there's only 2 episodes, I think, right? Left.
There's only 2 episodes left.
What do we just watch? 8 and 9? Oh, 3, I guess.
9, yeah. Okay, so 2 for this to conclude, and then 1 for wrap up.
This guy will probably get away. And no, I am not reading ahead. I don't know. I'm thinking about.
It's like I have this strange feeling.
I question everything now.
The the prophet Mike brings this to you. No, man. I think this guy's going to get away because the whole purpose of this season was that these guys were supposed to be doing reconnaissance for Muzan. They weren't even supposed to be wrecking shit. They were doing reconnaissance. Yeah. So I think this dude is going to get away and go bring back that information. Muzan doesn't care that the other guy's dead. He already cut that demon's head off anyways. He doesn't care. And look at the emphasis that they put on this dude, right? Half the freaking season has been about this guy. So I don't think they're going to finish it off.
Interesting. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good call. Do you think that seems reasonable, Phil?
Yeah, I think so. I can see it. I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God, now if I get anything right, you guys are going to be haters about it.
I mean, yeah, but that's okay. Well,
yeah, I think that would be more satisfying than than her just trashing the place and taking over like nothing. I wonder if it's like it will be more of a I'm retreating strategically or I am running. If it's like, okay, yeah.
You think
because look at refresh me on why I forget, it was rank 3 ran from
Well, that was
Goku.
because the sun was coming
Oh,
out.
sunlight.
Sun,
Sunlight.
yeah.
That's right. Yes.
Well, we could get a similar situation here. It's been night for a long time now, for several episodes.
True.
For I don't know, for several episodes, meaning
4.5
mere
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. True, I guess. Yeah. Now I wonder if he'll just see like, oh, you know, we've been battling now for a while. This chick means business. She's got a cool sword. I don't know. Maybe I better get back to Muzan. Maybe somehow he can sense that the other dude got killed. I don't know. Maybe he just. I think he maybe tactfully is just like, oh, I probably should retreat and head on back.
Yeah, I can see a fighting to sort of what seems like a stalemate, and so the decision is, I don't know if I can win this. It's time to bounce.
Right.
You know, maybe it will, right? Maybe it will speed up and it's like, yeah, daylight's coming or something like that. Because I think we need yet a pretty epic battle still, given the number of episodes left. I think we're gonna have to see Tanjiro pull out some amazing stuff yet. You know, that's gonna happen. Even though his foot's broken, we gotta see. You know, I think we're gonna see some some teamwork yet, even though, you know, Love Hashira here is incredibly competent. It seems.
I really think it would be okay for Tanjiro to just take a back seat here, just sit in a corner and watch, learn some shit. Like, I don't. I know they did the jokes with Inosuke, right? And I can move my organs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, how much has to happen before we finally just admit that, like, yep, he's superhuman? Like, these guys are all like Batman. Like, Batman's he's superhuman. Let's stop bullshitting. Tanjiro.
I mean, not technically though. He's just a rich dude with a bunch of cool stuff.
Right, just capable of reacting fast enough to avoid Superman's blows and Darkseid's blows, and you know.
Well, that's ridiculous. Yeah. No, that depends on who's writing it. Right. That's
right.
That's
yeah. Batman capable of bench pressing 1,000 pounds while still being as nimble as an acrobat like Robin.
The suits have like micro hydraulics.
Yeah, you come up with the reasons. I'm just saying you got to do that here now too. The dude's foot is mangled. He's just been crushed to the point where he was about to pop.
Yeah.
He's been injured before. At least the other guy, Genyu or whatever, you know, he's got some still demon shit that we still don't understand.
Yeah.
That is apparently capable of fully regenerating a Swiss cheese body in moments.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah.
So I do absolutely consider, you know, it bothers me most in one, when things are live action, and two, right, when it's supposed to be a human and people are thrown through concrete walls and then they get up and keep fighting. It drives me up a wall. I'm done with it. I'm just done with it. But when I'm watching something animated and like these guys have powers with the mist breathing and sun, all this stuff, like, yes, I take it that they are in some way superhuman, you know, they heal themselves through breathing techniques. And, you know, like, look how high she is in the air, you know, if you're watching this still, like the jump, leap, you know, all of a sudden Tokido's on the roof. He just jumps on the roof. So I definitely take their breathing techniques and their training to have advanced these people to some sort of superhuman level that I just accept, you know. Because to me, it's definitely a different show where they're, you know, where it'd be much more grounded, where a gunshot wound is fatal or something like that to a person. And I think that we need that to get our Dragon Ball style action, our over the top crazy, you know, because otherwise it's totally different show. Totally different show.
I do think I just remembered looking at Mitsuri's sword here. You know, at some point soon, I think that other sword is going to be done being honed. So I mean, I imagine like some part of the last 3 episodes got to be devoted to like getting Tanjiro that sword, and he's got to like try it out. So there's got to be some battle for him to hopefully use
That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. Like, I will be sad if she's pushed into a corner with this. You know, like, I want to, like, I'm perfectly okay that they get him the sword and Tanjiro contributes and is maybe the, Tanjiro and gang pushes it over the edge.
Right.
But I don't want to see our love Hashira enter the scene in such a stylistic way and then be on her back heels the whole time. Like,
yeah, agreed.
It could happen. I just would rather it not,
Especially since they frame her up in this way. Like when she comes on the screen and the way she like just presents herself, the way she carries herself, she's one of those characters that make you feel like things are going to be okay. She's going to help us out. It's kind of like when I feel the same way in the first couple of seasons of My Hero Academia when like All Might comes to finally save the day.
Yeah.
Like super
the
dire.
threat's gone.
He comes and you're like, great, All Might's going to punch this Nomu through the sky and it's going to be fine. It's like, that's the vibe I get. So I agree with you, John. It would be very like hard to like emotional whiplash to be like, oh, now she's like almost dying. When she
That's
just
why
was,
they
so
do it,
confident
isn't
and
it?
sweet.
Now that we're talking about it, it was like, that is exactly why they would do it, because you do feel safe. She is so confident. She's so lovely. And then just all of a sudden, you don't see her sweat. She's not sweating. You don't see her sweat in any of the
sweating
things.
right
She's
there.
just Yeah.
It's
Well,
on the
okay.
screen, John.
Just,
You
I
know what it
mean,
means.
in terms of
That's just-
temperament
that's just
and like
normal anime
concern,
That
Yes,
just always
she's
exists.
she's exerting mobility, yes, but it's like she's calm and she's resolved and she's not afraid, and it would be impactful for all of a sudden her to see intense fear on her face, to understand that she's met a match that of like what she's not seen before, and that I'm going to lose and probably lose my life and try to give it to save these three others. I could see that being incredibly dramatic, very effective, and then Tanjiro gets the sword and turns the tide of the battle. I could see that absolutely happening and it being intense. I don't know that I want that to be the case, because I agree. I'd love to see Tanjiro take a back seat, learn something from the pros, but I don't know if that's in this show to do that.
You are making excellent points.
That would be a twist that I wouldn't see the show doing, but they could. I mean, maybe they killed Rengoku. That was pretty brutal. So
that was a big twist.
Surprising.
That set the stage. That
made me
safe.
Right. It made me respect this show, more than anything else.
So if if we see that, the other nice benefit that could come from her getting surprised here is we didn't really see that with the Mist Hashira in Upper Rank 5. He got him in the bubble, and he's like, "Oh no, I can't breathe. Oh geez." I'm just kidding. I'm out of the bubble. He hit him with the poison.
He did almost die.
Yeah, but
milliseconds away.
It was a very, very quick resolution to that, right? And then he was like, I've been hit with poison. Oh, well, I'll turn this mark on and ignore all of that. All I'm saying is that these are supposed to be the most powerful demons there are, period. And so far, Rengoku's the only one that really lost out on this. Upper rank 6 got the best of Tengen, but he lost. Upper rank 5 just lost. And if we see upper rank 4 also lose, then you're talking about that power dynamic shifting from, the demons are more powerful to where you really break it down. It's like the demons suck in comparison for how cool they are. They get wrecked, all but one of them.
I could see it being becomes a lesson for the demons. Like we can't underestimate how far the Demon Slayer Corps has progressed now. And so we're not doing this. Firstly, like you say, these guys are supposed to be doing reconnaissance, not this. So, I could see a real sort of crackdown on like following orders and being in pairs and being smart about this, because that's why they're losing out in all situations except for Tokito, is like they're underestimating. They're like, yeah, we can take on 4 people at once. More in the sense of, with the sound Hashira and 6, like they had 1, 2, 4 plus the wives, against 2. Like they were vastly outnumbered. And but who cares? They're so it could just be a realignment of everyone's sort of understanding of their enemy.
Sure. And that makes sense.
I thought they did that though in the beginning of the season. Lord Muzan brought all at least on the Demon Slayer side, brought them all back and was like, "You guys get your shit together. We're losing people. Upper 6 just died. You guys stay together in pairs. Go do reconnaissance. Don't do anything stupid." He's gonna have to do that. Have that whole conversation over again when these 2 die or show up.
I think that if they do show the Demon Slayer Corps' strength to how they might here, that we're gonna see someone, maybe it's rank 3, maybe it's we they take it out of order and rank 1 comes out and just wipes out a number of people. Like I would be impressed by that. Like a retaliation, front on attack now. That would be interesting to me, because I do agree that they can't come out so unscathed continually. Like some more people are going to have to die.
For sure.
That just made me think, maybe this won't be a thing, but they've made a big shtick about how Doma, upper rank 2, loves to like mutilate women, right? Like when they first introduced him, and then when they showed him. No, this is from paying attention. When they first showed him, like when he went back, when he left the demon realm or whatever that was, that Muzan had him in, he was sitting on that comforter or whatever, and he was going to meet some women, and he talked about how he had like a woman in his vase or something like that. Or no, not a woman in his vase. He put a woman in the vase that the other demon gave him. And so, what if he and this love Hashira, because they're kind of polar opposites, like when they've been described.
Sure.
Like he is a master manipulator, I guess you could say, from our introduction to him there.
Yeah.
And she's so like he's love or lust, I guess, maybe for evil purposes, and she's the opposite. Like maybe she'll survive, and to John's point, maybe 1 and 2 are going to come through, and that's going to be a conflict that we see.
Yeah.
I
don't wonder. I wonder if they do end up killing upper 4, then I bet we'll go a long while before another demon's killed. And then we'll start, and then I don't know what the seasons will be about, but I mean, there's so many other Hashira they haven't even introduced really in a meaningful way. If they're going to introduce a couple every season, I feel like we still have a lot of show left, like multiple seasons still. It doesn't feel close to being wrapped up at all. So I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I just think there does need to be punishment here for the Demon Slayer Corps. I do agree with that, to keep the kind of like, what if we what if something, this would be next season, or what is the thing that really unlocks Zenitsu's ability, snaps him out of his cowardice, and like makes him like connect with whatever it is when he's asleep, is the death of Nezuko. Nezuko right now is a stalled character. She has awesome abilities. She is super cool, but she has not really moved forward. She's always the one to come to the aid. What if she is gone, she's another person to not save Tanjiro. Tanjiro has then lost everyone that's in his family. This is and it'd be a huge motivating factor for Zenitsu. Would be a cool unlock thing for him. I don't think they'll do it. She's a fan favorite. People love her, all this stuff. But I think it would be very interesting for the story, and would make sense for our hero's journey kind of thing.
Yeah. Interesting. I agree. I don't foresee them doing that, but no, yeah, be riots and street.
Maybe otherwise we need to start killing Hashira that we're familiar with already, because you're not going to probably kill off Hashira you haven't introduced. So like I'm looking at the list now, the water Hashira, that was like the first one that helped and like was introduced to Tanjiro with cool like cloak and stuff.
Yep.
Tomioka,
Mm-hmm.
he could die. That would be an interesting connection point for our hero.
Yep.
And then we've seen the insect Hashira. She saved Zenitsu and stuff previously. So like if we all of a sudden like they're attacked and they're dead, that would be something.
Yeah, could see that too.
I don't know. Lots of speculation, whatever. I just overall. Yeah, overall, like you guys, Mike, it seemed like you enjoyed these 2 episodes. I think we should do the 2 episodes at a time. I'm tempted to even say now, if there's 3 left, we should just wrap up the last 3 in one.
Yeah,
get that, streak like that, and see how this all concludes.
I'm on board. It's just a more entertaining experience for me when it's more than 23 minutes and I don't have to be worried that every single scene is the cliffhanger.
Right. Yeah. I watched both these back to back.
Sorry?
I watched both these back to back. Like
nice.
I skipped the week and I just like watched them both in a row.
Oh, nice. I didn't do that, but I kind of wish I had. I think it makes for more stimulating conversation too. Just like when you can talk about multiple, like a whole stretch of the season at once instead of just one single episode. It's like, well, they fought the dude with like several personalities the whole time, so that was cool. What else you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Do you think that's why we're not talking much about him? I mean, because we really haven't discussed like, what we think of all of them being one, and we don't have to do it today either. We're running long on time, but we really haven't. Is that just because we're not interested anymore? Is that how you guys feel?
I think we talked about it some on the one you missed.
Oh, okay, got it.
But right, John, would you say? I mean, but we certainly can keep. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, just because that's when we'd found out more about the way he divided and like So we had to talk about it somewhat, but yeah, we'll definitely have to bring that up in the end, because obviously I think we're going to get at least 2, maybe 2.5 episodes, the heavy with this demon.
Yeah.
We just learned here, of course, that he's with his drums and stuff. He's using the powers that each of them separately had wielded. So,
do you have thoughts, Mike, on?
Nothing that particularly jumps out, and that's kind of why I was hoping you guys did, because I mean, dragon heads are cool, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, they're pretty cool. I feel like, do we think they're made of wood? Wooden?
Yeah, it seemed like wood. Yeah.
Oh, blood wood.
Right.
Blood inside, wood outside.
Sure. Okay.
Because when she slashes him.
Oh, right. That is demon blood art, probably. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
All
right. Well, we'll plan on that. I think is to do the finale, cover the last 3 episodes. Might try to throw in a show to talk about something else, anime or something like that in between, so there's not too big of a delay for everyone.
Sure.
If anyone out there has any suggestions, throw them at us. Let us know what you want to hear. Maybe our certain anime backgrounds, or if you have suggestions on like what you think is best, let us know. Typically, we have at least one podcast going up a week, whether it's this show or Popcast on the Rocks. Last couple weeks, got a couple kind of bonuses to a week, so make sure you follow on Twitter or their podcast directory, YouTube. Subscribe in all those places, leave a review, that sort of thing. It would be much appreciated. Mike, do you want to plug your YouTube and such?
Yeah, just real quick. If you're interested in racing content, track content, and watching a guy fumble around a track, that's Track Mouse on Instagram and on YouTube. If you do track _mouse on YouTube, you'll get less pickups for computer mice with trackballs on them.
Nice.
Cool.
Sounds good.
So if I wanted that,
Subscribe to both, I guess.
Yeah, if you want that, leave that _out and go get yourself a mouse, baby.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining me, and we'll be back again. I appreciate it very much. Hopefully JP can be back the next time and he can fill us in on what he's thought. So until next time, everyone, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. See ya.